So welcome to our last but one of these midweek messages going through Isaiah chapter 40. I'm Mark, the vicar at St John's Felbridge, and I really hope you've been enjoying them. I hope they've expanded your vision of God, giving us a right and a true and a vast knowledge of Him. I know that's certainly been true for me as I've prepared each week, and I hope it's also been true of you. Well, shall we read verses 25 and 26 as we come towards the end of this chapter? To whom will you compare me? Or who is my equal? Says the Holy One. Lift up your eyes and look to the heavens. Who created all these? He who brings out the starry host one by one and calls forth each of them by name. Because of his great power and mighty strength, not one of them is missing. Well, just like last week, we begin with some questions. To whom will you compare me? Or who is my equal, says the Lord, the Holy One? Well, do you think it is you? Are you my equal? Well then, why do you trust in yourselves? Are the idols of the nations, are they my equal? Well then, why on earth are you worshipping them? Are the nations themselves equal to me? Well, why look to them for your security? But instead, lift up your eyes to the heavens. Who created all these? It's another question, isn't it? I love the call to lift up your eyes. At first thought, it seems like a call simply to look to the stars, to marvel at the glory of the starlit sky on a clear night. But the question that follows tells us there's more to it. Who created them? Lift up your eyes is in fact a call to look to God, to see Him, to open our eyes to the magnificent vision of the Creator God that Isaiah has given us in this chapter. Barry Webb in his book on Isaiah says, the danger is not that God would prove inadequate to their need, but that they would forget what He is like. And so Isaiah gives this awesome vision for the people so that they lift up their eyes from themselves, from their lives, from the world, and to Him. You know, in the midst of suffering, when we're going through dark days, we can really lose sight of God. Our vision becomes so obscured by our own situation that we simply cannot see beyond and to God. And so Isaiah wants to break through the mist and give them a vision of God. And so the call is to lift up your eyes. He brings out the starry host one by one. He calls forth each of them by name. Well, with scientific discovery over the centuries increasing our knowledge of the universe, its sheer majesty and size, this should make us even more awestruck at the greatness of God. It's true, isn't it? The more you know and understand about the complexity of something someone has made, well, the higher your opinion is of the person who's made it. I don't know, maybe all the functionality of the latest smartphone. The more we understand about how it all works, well, the more impressed we become at the one who designed and made it. So lift up your eyes and be wowed. The Milky Way contains 100 billion stars. He brings them out one by one. To count them would take us over 3,000 years. He calls forth each of them by name. The sun is 870,000 miles in diameter. At its core, it's 27 million degrees Fahrenheit. Its luminosity equals 4 million trillion light bulbs. And it's just one average star among the billions in our galaxy. Well, it is because of His great power and strength that not one of these stars is missing. I think Isaiah really wants to get them to get God's power and strength. He wants them to grasp something of this. As a people, they're about to be heading into exile, and they really need to know that the Lord is the one who has the power to bring them back. They need to know He is the one who has the strength to fulfill His plans for His people, the people He loves, and He has the strength to keep His promises to them. So He just throws in a couple of adjectives in there too. Great power, mighty strength. If God's power and strength called forth the stars and holds them in place, then it is surely not too difficult for Him to keep His promises to His people at this time. And so he says to them, lift up your eyes, and as you do, increase your faith in the Lord. Well, because looking up and not down will do this. 99% of our time we are focusing on ourselves and our circumstances, and we wonder why our faith is weak. 99% of the time we try to sort out problems ourselves in our own way, and it's a mystery to us why our faith is not stronger. Look up and not down. Lift up your eyes. Look to the Creator God, for no one compares to him. And as you do, you may just find your faith grows as you remember his great power and mighty strength in every situation. Well, I've just put up some verses from Ephesians chapter 1 on the screen, and we're going to use these to finish. It talks about God's incomparably great power for us who believe. That power is the same as his mighty strength which he exerted when he raised Jesus Christ from the dead and seated him at his right hand in the heavenly realms. His power is for us who believe. Well, do you know that?